You just checked someone else's life again. You didn't mean to. Your thumb did it before your brain caught up. One scroll, then another. And somewhere in there, a quiet voice started keeping score. You tell yourself it's harmless. Just looking. Just curious. But the real answer is far stranger than curiosity. Your brain isn't browsing. It's ranking. It's been ranking since before you had language to describe what it was doing. Think about the last time you compared yourself to someone. Maybe it was a coworker's promotion. Maybe it was a stranger's vacation photos. Maybe it was just a sibling, a friend, someone in your own house. Did you choose to compare? Or did it just happen fast and automatic, like flinching from a loud noise? That automatic quality is the clue. Comparison isn't a habit you picked up. It's older than habit. It's wiring. In 1954, a psychologist named Leon Festinger noticed something odd about how people evaluate themselves. He proposed that humans don't have an internal ruler for most things. There's no built-in number that tells you if you're doing well, if you're attractive, if you're successful, if you're safe. So the brain borrows a ruler. It looks around, finds someone nearby, and measures itself against them. Festinger called this social comparison theory. It sounds almost too simple to be true. But nearly every study since has confirmed it. Humans do not evaluate themselves in isolation. They evaluate themselves in relation. Why would evolution build a mind that can't judge itself without a witness standing nearby? Go back further than psychology labs. Go back to small bands of humans moving across grasslands, sharing food, sharing danger, sharing almost everything except certainty. In a group like that, your survival didn't depend on some abstract personal best. It depended on your position relative to everyone else in the group. Were you strong enough to be protected instead of abandoned? Skilled enough to be fed when food ran low? Trusted enough to be warned first when danger came? None of those questions have absolute answers. They only have relative ones. You weren't just a hunter. You were the third best hunter. Or the one nobody wanted next to them on a hunt at all. That's the part modern life hides from you. Rank used to be visible. Everyone in a band of 30 people could see exactly where they stood. Today, you're not comparing yourself to 30 people anymore. You're comparing yourself to millions. Here's where it gets stranger. Your brain hasn't updated the math. Neuroscientist Robert Sapolsky spent decades studying wild baboons in Kenya, watching how social rank rewired their bodies from the inside out. Baboons low in the social hierarchy showed chronically elevated stress hormones, worse cardiovascular health, and weaker immune function, even when they had plenty of food and no predators nearby. Their bodies weren't reacting to hunger or danger. They were reacting to status. Just knowing you rank low, even in comfort, even in safety, is enough to physically wear down a primate body over time. And you are a primate. So when you scroll past someone whose life looks better organized, better funded, better lit, some old circuit in you doesn't register, that's a stranger on the internet. It registers, that's someone in my band. And I just found out where I stand. Your nervous system doesn't know the difference between a village of 30 and a platform of 3 billion. It just knows it saw someone doing better and it responds the way it always has. A small hit of unease. A tightening. A need to check again just to be sure. Is it any wonder you can't stop? There's a modern study that makes this even harder to shake off. In 2018, researchers at the University of Pennsylvania ran a controlled experiment limiting students' social media use to 10 minutes per platform per day. The students who cut back showed measurable drops in loneliness and depression within just 3 weeks. What's notable isn't that less scrolling helped. It's why the researchers believed it helped. Their conclusion pointed directly at social comparison. Less exposure to curated highlight reels meant fewer moments of silently ranking yourself against people who, by design, only show their peaks. Ancient hierarchies were built on real information. Who could run faster? Who could carry more? Who shared food fairly? Modern hierarchies are built on performance. A vacation photo doesn't tell you someone is happier. It tells you they took a good photo. But your ranking circuitry doesn't know the difference between authentic information and curated performance. It just sees a data point and slots it into the hierarchy, the way it's always done. Notice what this means about envy itself. Envy isn't a character flaw. It isn't proof that you're petty or ungrateful. It's a status alarm going off in a brain built for a world with 30 visible competitors, now facing a world with an infinite, algorithmically optimized supply of them. There's a particular kind of comparison that hurts more than the rest, and it has a name. Psychologists call it the reference group effect. You don't compare yourself to everyone equally. You compare yourself most intensely to people who feel close to your own category. Not billionaires, not people in different countries with different lives. The person one step ahead of you, in your own field, your own age group, your own friend circle. That's the comparison that stings. Because that's the comparison your ancient brain treats as relevant information about your actual standing in your actual group. Why does the near comparison hurt more than the distant one? Because in the ancestral environment, distant strangers didn't affect your survival. The people in your own band did. If someone 3 villages over had more food, that meant nothing to you. If someone standing next to you at the fire had more food, that meant everything. Proximity used to mean consequence. Now proximity is manufactured by an app, and consequence follows it anyway, even when there's none left to follow. This is where the ancient wiring stops matching the modern world entirely. In a band of 30, comparison served a function. It told you where to direct effort, who to align with, when to negotiate for a better position. The system had an exit. You could improve your actual standing among actual people who could actually see the improvement. Today, the ranking signal fires constantly, but the exit is gone. You cannot outcompete 3 billion curated feeds. There is no version of you that wins that hierarchy, because it was never built to be one. It was built to be endless. So the ancient tool that once helped you find your place in a small, knowable group has been repurposed by a system with no edges and no finish line. Knowing this doesn't shut the circuit off. You'll still feel that flicker of comparison the next time you open your phone. But something changes when you recognize what's actually happening in that moment. That flicker isn't a verdict on your worth. It's a 30,000-year-old alarm built for a village going off in a stadium. The alarm isn't lying about how you feel. It's just answering a question nobody asked in a place that never should have triggered it. You didn't mean to check someone else's life again. But now, at least, you know exactly which part of you did it, and why it's been doing it long before either of you existed.